Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Adam Everett Miller with AETuts.com, and we started doing quick tips here on the site a while back, but a lot of those are actually kind of legit tutorials, but just shorter, smaller versions of them. So today I'm actually going to just give you a quick tip. That's all it is. No awesome ending effect, just something that hopefully could maybe speed up your workflow a little bit. So here's the product that I was working. Well, this isn't the actual project I was working on, but this is an example of a product that I might be working on. But I actually was working on a project where I needed to go through a lot of green screen footage, and you know that you don't want to have to sift through all that in After Effects just because it's not the most efficient way. So bring it into your nonlinear editing system. I'm using Sony Vegas. That's all I need to say. So I have a basic rough cut. Okay, this is it. I got my cuts. I got my little crossfades. I came into this clip, and you know I kind of zoomed in a little bit and cropped it so that I can kind of do a little jump cut in as I'm talking, do crossfade. Now these are MXF files, but I also threw in an MOV just so we have it, and then here at the end it'll be a nice crossfade. I'm sorry, nice fade out. So I have this edit, but it's not 100% concrete. It's just this is a rough idea. And so what do I want to do? If you have Adobe Premiere, you can just stop watching this and go make a sandwich, because you can have the whole dynamic link between After Effects and have fun. I hope you enjoy yourselves. But for those of us who are on Vegas, and I think maybe even Final Cut, I'm sure there's ways to go back and forth, and then Avid as well. You know, there's this constant frustration with, okay, I have my edit, but I got to render out this clip, bring it over in After Effects, do my effects, and then pop it back in the timeline. You know, you could just render it all out, but you don't want the same background for this clip as for that clip, because the you know, the composition's different, so you'd want to change the background accordingly. So you don't just want to key the whole thing, but so you want to keep these edit points. Also, just having some just edit points in general, you might not, this might not be the final version. So anyways, as I'm saving this, the default for Vegas is just a VEG file. So okay, save it. And I can't obviously open that in After Effects, but this is something that I just stumbled upon the other day. You might have known it, you might not. If you come down, you can file and save as. There's this Avid Legacy. It's the same three initials, so I'm not sure, but basically it's called an AAF file, and it's just your core cuts. It's like what a TXT file is to, you know, any word processing application can open this. This is just your core meat and potatoes cuts and fades. And so if you save it as an AAF file, and I'm sure you can do it pretty much in any editing system, you can save this. Let me go back to the desktop and save it right in here. Save this format. Then when you go into After Effects, you can open it up. Let me go over to this one. Okay. You can just import this AAF file, and it will maybe ask you a question here and give you some warnings. The only reason it's giving you warnings is because when you were over here in Vegas, when you were over in Vegas, you know, your crossfades might not be the exact, because there's different ways to do it and all that stuff, and that's fine. But the basic thing is you have your edits. Okay, so the warning popped up. Then it almost like a Photoshop doc, you know, almost like opening up a PSD. You have all of your assets here with your MOV as well, and you have a composition with all of your cuts in it. So this is just super, super handy. When I stumbled upon this, I was like, oh, save me tons of time, because now I can do this, but then if, let's say, I want to get rid of a certain clip, I can still delete it, and it just basically doing most of the grunt work in the editing system, as far as when to make the cuts for interviews or whatever, especially if you have to interviews with lower thirds. You can do all your core editing there, and then just kind of bring it over here into After Effects to add the final things, like maybe keying out the background or adding in the titles. But you don't have to sit there and do all that tough editing. And if there is some last minute minor edits, you can do it here. What it's going to do is, I'll just drag this up. It's actually going to create a different layer for every audio, you know, for each track's audio, and then for the video. And you'll notice that it even actually has the crossfade. It'll just lower the opacity here. So if you remember, we had one crossfade right here. It'll recognize that over here. It's not, you know, when you start adding other effects, like, I mean, you think, oh, well, why don't you just key it over within Vegas, but Vegas, like most editing systems, don't have the greatest built-in effects. So, it recognizes crossfades, and then it'll also, remember at the end I fade out, and so it just does the same thing there, and it basically just lowers the opacity. And I think with a fade out, it kind of handled it interestingly, that it split the clip in two. This is the same clip. It's 28L, but then it split it in two just so that it can fade out at that point. Even though technically these two are the same clip, just starting at 100 and then going down to 0. But this is the clip. This is the idea. Now you might stumble upon some of these. You have these random little like extra bumps, or they're just like little tiny slivers of a clip left. And I was kind of trying to figure out what that was, and what I came up with was just that I remember I have some tracker points, like edit point 1, edit point 2, and then also another one that I had discovered was sometimes when you butt clips up together, it like does this automatic like crossfade for one frame, and that gave me this the same thing. Notice I didn't get it in the video, but then I got it in my audio because that's where it did the little quick fade out. So you can just get rid of these because they're not important at all. They just represent where markers would have been, or where they were. But yeah, that's it. That's the quick tip. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If this helped you at all, then good. If you have any other advice or anything else, I just stumbled upon this and I tried to read some information online, but I just figured maybe this would help somebody. And yeah, hope to see you soon. Bye.